Hello, everyone. Welcome to Detroit Agate. I'm Timothy Smith.
And I'm Eugene Clark. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Eugene. And we're here today to discuss art and culture related to Detroit and Michigan in general. And we have some exciting stuff to cover today. And before I talk about some artwork that I've done and I've had shown recently, I'm going to pass it off to Eugene, and Eugene is going to discuss with us some exciting stuff that he's done recently as well, as far as music is concerned.
Yay.
All right.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that, Tim, because what I would like to do is talk about the Detroit Jazz Festival that's coming up this weekend. And what is this weekend? Well, it is Labor Day weekend. So there it is, right off of their website, the Detroit Jazz Festival program schedule. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Right.
And let's check it out. That's what the schedule looks like on the website. You can actually click a little thing that says download as a PDF and get it on your phone if you want. Here's what the Saturday lineup looks like. So they do have stuff on Friday, but it's just in the evening. So the beginning of their big all-day affair starts on Saturday, and you can see that they have multiple stages down at Hart Plaza, which is in the waterfront at the city center of downtown Detroit. So you can see there's quite a lineup of all the different stages. There's the Saturday lineup. Here's Sunday, which is what I was shooting for because if you can see this name, Chucho Valdez and Paquito de Rivera is sort of enticing to me. But Saturday, we've got some really cool musicians like Kenny Barron. So I'm really sort of torn, but I think Sunday might draw me in because of this guy,
Oh,
Branford Marsalis. Are you
for
familiar
sure.
with him?
Oh, yeah, that's of course.
So let's go over to this picture right here. Branford Marsalis, who is brothers with Wynton Marsalis, and then their dad is Ellis Marsalis. And, you know, Branford and his brothers were born in New Orleans, and his dad is a piano player. And so it's just really cool to see how both Winton and Bramford have become, just like the most well known and respected in their field of jazz, and both of them play classical as well. They have some other family members, Jason Marcellus and Adelphio Marcellus, who are also jazz musicians. So it really is a whole family of musicians. But something that really caught my eye when I was looking up some of his background was that both Branford and Winton played in a band called the Jazz Messengers with Art Blakey. So I'm going to show you. There's another picture of Branford, and then I'm going to show you. Oh, I guess I didn't grab it. Hold on a second. Let me stop my share and I'll share the image that I wanted to show you guys of. All right, hold on a second. I want to show you an image of the Jazz Messengers, if I could. Here we go. So what's cool about this is that you can see Winton and Branford in there with this group when they were both sort of in the beginning of their careers, so to speak, and busting their chops and going out there and really showing people what they got, and then they became Branford and Wynton Marcellus. What do you know about these guys?
I knew that they were from New Orleans. I remember one of them was I think it was Branford that was on the Tonight Show band, I believe.
Yes, you're correct.
Yep. And did they go to school in a Juilliard or something? I'm not so sure about that.
I'm looking here. It doesn't necessarily. tell me. Branford went to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
Berkeley, Boston. Yeah, okay, Berkeley. That's just as another great school, of course.
Yeah.
I knew there's some prestigious school that was involved with, that they're involved with. So, but I just wonderful musicians. What a great musical family that is, and what a legacy that they have. It's really impressive, and for sure, catch him while you're down there. I mean, I think it's a great idea, and anybody, if you're around, you should be there too. Uh, it's a wonderful event. It's a lot of fun, and Detroit has so much culture, and I'm just glad that they were able to pull in a great headliner like that. He's a wonderful and incredibly talented musician. So, good job.
Yeah, and
That's
the
awesome.
Detroit Jazz Fest, I just found out it's turning 50. I just turned 60, as you know, and I know you did as well. So when we were just mere 10 years old, that's when this whole festival came about. And the cool thing about it is it's completely free. And that's unbelievable to me because, for them to bring in top notch performers like the ones we're talking about, and then to be able to head downtown on a whim, go to this free concert where there's these amazing, just star studded performers, it just blows my mind.
So, if it's free, how is it being funded? Is it like donations or?
Yeah, so they have a lot of benefactors that put their name on the festival. Sometimes it's the automotive industry that does it. There is a family, Valade family, who has been instrumental in donating money to the College for Creative Studies, where I taught for 30 years. But they also donated to Wayne State University, where Wayne State took a former theater for their Hillberry graduate program, and they were rebuilding a brand new theater. So they took the former theater, renovated it, and turned it into the Valade uh, Jazz Performing Arts Center. Isn't that cool?
Oh, wow, that's very cool.
So this is the first year that the festival is also going to be taking place in that theater on Wayne State's campus. So
Wow.
you've got all the stages down at Hart Plaza. Plus, if you're more in the cultural center area where the art museum is, you can head over to the Valade Jazz Performing Arts Center. Just unbelievable. And one of the days they're going to feature high school jazz bands. How's that?
Oh, that's great. I'm so glad they're going to do that. That's wonderful. I mean, always support the young, up and coming musicians for sure. Do you know if they're going to have any shuttles or anything back and forth? Any word on that?
Yeah, there's going to be some shuttles and the parking's going to be well marked. And,
Parking. Mhm.
what's nice about the Jazz Festival, um, it's different than going to, uh, let's just say, even a sporting event, because as much as I'd like to think that everybody loves jazz, it's not as populated as one might think. So it's not going to be overcrowded or overrun with people, and so finding a good parking spot and being able to, check out all the music and stuff is very painless. It's fun, it's seamless, and what a great memory.
Yeah, and don't forget the food and everything that's going to be down there too as well. And there's plenty of great places to eat downtown, and you got to get a coney at one point. You must.
Right.
uh,
You've
Coney
learned
dog.
very well, my friend, because you're a East Coast transplant to the Detroit area, and for you to be able to say that in that sentence and mean it, you must have, you know, really sampled a few conies here in
I've
Detroit.
had a few by now. Yes, I have. And let me tell you, when I first got here, that phrase confused the heck out of me because coming to New York and here and hearing, I mean that Coney Island, I'm just like I don't understand like what you're saying. So and
Yeah,
the hot dog or
I know. Hey, I'm
so
going to show some images of one more person. So this is John Schofield.
oh yeah.
And so what I wanted to tell you, he's going to be there on this weekend as well. And he has been around, gosh, since, well, he was born in 1951, but he's had a very, very long career. So these are recent photos. So you can see he's, up there in age. Um, and I won't tell you what his age is because you can do the math. But we want to mention that, some of the people that he's played with would be Miles Davis, who is no small name to mention, and then Mavis Staples, and of course, one of my favorites, Herbie Hancock. People might be familiar with Herbie and some of his great music. And he's from Dayton, Ohio, and he's one of the mainstays in the jazz community. One of those guys that's been embraced by many legends, and so he will be there this weekend. John Schofield, if people aren't familiar, look him up. It's spelled Scofield, Schofield. So there you go, John Schofield. Had you heard about him?
Oh yeah, I've certainly have heard of him. Yeah,
Awesome.
no doubt about it.
Awesome.
He's a well-known name in that community, and he definitely has a long resume to prove his worth. That's for sure. So
Yeah. So we've got some jazz giants and then a lot of local jazz artists, regional jazz artists, and then, of course, high school. Uh, I've heard some high school performers that rival some of the professionals. So, you know, no matter what concert you see, you're going to be in for a treat.
that's wonderful. Well, thanks for that tip, Eugene. That's most appreciated. That's for sure. And coming from you, music aficionado, I'm sorry that Yes won't be downtown this weekend, but I'm sure you'll be okay with that.
Hey, but speaking of yes, I say yes to an artist's work that recently has been exhibited in an exhibition on an island between the lower peninsula of Michigan and the upper peninsula. And this island is called Mackinac Island. Have you heard about this island, Tim?
Yes, I have kind of heard of it. So what
You've
Eugene?
heard of this island because, wait a minute, I'm talking about you, Timothy Smith,
Yes, you're
the
talking about me.
great artist. And by the way, when you had your work in this exhibition, I was on the island. I took a picture of myself in front of your paintings, and it was spectacular. You were, in my opinion, mwah, best of show.
I
So
appreciate
tell
that.
us a little bit about what you did, and if you uh, would like to share some images, that would be great.
Yep, I have some images for you. I will explain the show. So every year, the Manugian Museum in on Mackinac Island has a competition of Mackinac themed sort of artwork, and where if you would do 3D work or painting, drawing, anything, they have a competition that sort of promotes life on the island. And I was unaware of it until someone I was painting with at the Atelier Studio in Royal Oak told me about it. And uh, that one particular time, it was last year that they had a competition called Mackinac Rocks. And at the time, I was finishing up a series of rock paintings, and I did these 24 by 36 paintings of these rocks suspended in fabric. And I'll share a picture with you in a moment. And I was just I had done some little paintings too, some little studies of Petoskey stones, which are these beautiful little stones with dots in it. And I'll show you one of those too. Not that little painting. I don't have an image of that right now, but I have. I'll show you what a Petoskey stone is. And um, they. So I ended up submitting 3 images to this competition, and 2 of them were accepted. And there were 20 pieces altogether in the show. And so I did with them. So I figured like, hey, with 10% of the show being mine, I might get a prize from that.
I
But
thought that was in your contract. You're like, I will only show if I represent 10% of the work
I
on the
was lucky I got
walls.
2 in, so I was pretty happy about that. So I'm going to show you a couple of here we go. Just a minute. I'll show you a couple of these images that I got in. So it's right here. And so this one here is called Fatigued. This is an oil painting, 24 by 36.
Whoa.
And so I cobbled together a bunch of bunch of stones. Then I suspended them in fabric and did a lot of shot a lot of images of these and picked out the best ones. And so it took me several months to paint three of these. And so the fabric, this is with titanium white, this fabric back here. That's how I did that because I wanted more opaque. And but it was a challenge getting all the transparency in there. So Petoskey stone is the one in the far back, the brown one with the dots on it. And there's another smaller one in the front, kind of is more gray and is right above the dark brown rock that's on the bottom. And so what I represented by doing this was at the time when I was coming up with this idea and painting these images, I was going through a lot of kind of stress in my life and job changes and things like that. So I was just feeling a lot of pressure and bearing the weight of some decisions I was having to make and stuff about like my parents were not doing well at the time and they were getting sick and things like that, and there's a lot of transitions going on. So I was just sort of dealing with a lot of the pressure of being in the sandwich generation between having kids and grandparents, I mean, and my parents being as old as they were. And so doing a lot of traveling around back and forth the East Coast into Florida where my father was and all that. So there's a lot of pressure going on. So I painted a series of things like this. Here's another one. This one here was not accepted into the show. But there's a Petoskey stone there on the left side, the kind of lighter one there on the left. Um, so that's Petoskey stones are very uh, characteristic of the northwest coast of the Mitten of Michigan. That's where they're found almost exclusively there. And so this is the two of the three that I did in this series. The third one I don't have it. The third one was in our previous podcast. It was behind me on the wall. Um, and I also submitted this drawing, which was accepted as well. It's called Sanctuary. This is all graphite. It's approximately 16 by 20 drawing, and I took some rocks that I believe at least two of these were I took from upstate, up north in Michigan, and brought them back, and I put them in a container of water, and the reflections that you see in there are the trees that are in my property. And I just loved all the ripples and everything happening from the gentle breeze that was blowing and causing these light ripples around the rocks themselves and the trees above. And the clouds were just made for some fantastic nebulous sort of effects in there. And I really enjoyed doing this drawing. I did it with a mechanical pencil, which has a really fine point to it. And and I don't really use wooden pencils much anymore when I'm doing my finished drawings. Maybe when I'm working, like trying to set things up with my oil paintings, I'll work with wood pencils, but I don't really use them much any longer. So this one was also selected to be in the show, as I said. And so I was, unfortunately, I wasn't part of the whole, I didn't get an award, but it's okay. I don't need to,
But you got voted best of show from me.
oh, yes, I did. Thank you very much for that, Eugene. I appreciate it. But I had a wonderful time being there. I went up there for the, I had to wrap. This is the first time I shipped my artwork anywhere because usually I would just bring them somewhere. Even like a couple years ago when I was in a show in New York, I drove my pieces out there because I didn't know the gallery that well. They wanted to show my work along with other people. So I ended up driving my work out there with my wife and I got to see some friends and things while I was there. And it was great. But this time I shipped it out through UPS and these are like, I'm sending my babies off to school. It was kind of like, what's going to happen?
I
um,
know.
but I mean, I know artists do this all the time, but it's my first time doing that and I insured the heck out of it and all that stuff. So yeah, it cost a few bucks, but it was worth it. But I went up there for the award ceremony, and I went back up there to pick up my pieces because I didn't want to pay for it to have it shipped back. And I felt like, hey, going to Mackinac Island again, and so I've been there three or four times, I think, in total. And so I went up there in October of last year to pick up my work, and so my wife and I spent a couple nights there, and we rode bikes around. It was a great time to be there because most of the tourists have left. There were still tourists, but like the kids are back in school and we're there during the middle of the week. So it was a good quiet time and beautiful place to bike around. And if anybody You can only get there by boat, of course. As if you don't know that, it's an island. No cars allowed on the island. Um, and there's bikes are everywhere there. Of course, the horse and carriages, horse and buggies, whatever, and the mess that comes with it. That's prevalent, but it's it's a really great, fun touristy town. Has a lot of history there. The museum that my work was in, um, it's that has a lot of history too. It's a former barracks. It was a former housing thing for Native Americans that were there on the island at the time, and I mean, the British, ran that island for many years when during the War of 1812. I was talking to Eugene one time about how in the world did the British get ships up in that part, but I realized like, they were running Canada at the time, and I'm sure they had a lot of woodworking places where they made ships, so they're able to invade the island on a boat, because I was like, they can't get there from the ocean. So then realized I was too dumb to realize that, that they could have easily manufactured them in Canada and just brought them over there. So, which is probably what happened, I assume. But it's a great place to go. It's a lot of history on Mackinac Island. It's a step back in time. Of course, the Grand Hotel, is there. So I recommend it. And the fudge, you can't get away. There's a fudge shop every 5 feet,
Yeah.
you know, and in between there's a bar. So there are bars and something for everybody up there, and I know you've been there several times, Eugene. You and your wife go up all the time, and it's like Amy and I actually saw the place that you were staying at when you go up there and every year. So yeah, I highly recommend seeing that. Now, I have I've yet to get to the Upper Peninsula. I'm not counting St. Ignace. Yes, technically that is on the other side of the Mackinac Bridge, but that's as far as I've gotten. But we have talked about going up there and going to Picture Rocks, right? That's yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've already planned out the route that we're going to go up there, but it's going to have to wait because now we're getting into fall soon and all that stuff, and the weather's going to get a little
Yeah.
chilly up there. So
Maybe
maybe,
next year.
yeah, maybe next year for sure.
Awesome. Yay. Well, first of all, your work is spectacular.
Well, thank
Bravo.
you. Thanks.
Bravo. And we're really blessed to have you as a member of our podcast. Hey, let's talk about our third podcast host. Do you want to tell a little bit about him to the listeners?
Yes, Terry Burns is he's a wonderful artist. He's a singer, performer, musician that's been in the business for many, many years, and he knows a lot of people. He's well connected to Detroit musicians, and in fact, he's planning to do some artworks based on his collaborations with other famous and not famous Detroit musicians. And he's a terrific guy. And I got the pleasure to meet him just last year, and it turns out he and I have a sort of connection to the past from many years ago when I guess a member of his band was actually part of Matthew Sweet's band in the 90s. And at the same time that a friend of mine's brother was in that same Matthew Sweet band. And so we turned out we have a 6 degree of separation sort of thing that goes back 30 years. And we only discovered it by chance by just talking about this and that. And that's how you find out you're connected with people. And he's a wonderful guy, always very supportive, and uh, always calls me Timmy from the South Park character, and I hear that all the time. And there, I cannot even know he's in the room until I hear from the back of the room, Timmy, like that. And there's Terry. There he is, the man with the microphone, right there.
I'm
Yep.
going to zoom in just so everybody can see. That's Terry
He
Burns.
is one cool cat, this guy. And
He's Detroit music royalty.
yes, he is.
Okay. Let's just tell it like it is.
He
So
is.
there he is with, I'm guessing that this might be Corktown Popes, but I'm probably wrong because he plays with a lot of different groups and
Yeah.
he's primarily a singer. But this is his own group. It's called the Detroit Holiday Rockestra.
Orchestra. Yep.
And so he'll pick and choose musicians that are willing and able to come out and gig with him. And it's a holiday music, and some of it's original. And he did make a recording a few years back, and I had the pleasure of receiving a copy when he joined our class over at the Atelier. And I must say, it is a dynamite CD. So if you're in the market for a really beautiful, upbeat, jazzy, fun, uh, holiday recording to play this coming year, I would say try and get a copy, get your hands on a copy of the Detroit Holiday Rockestra. Am I right, Timothy Smith?
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of fun, great music, and I highly recommend it too. And support Terry, support the musicians. I mean, they're all great guys, and I just I'm just a bit proud to know him, proud to know you. I'm just glad that I just hope one day he can join us here, and he's able to do it.
Oh, we're gonna get them on here, no worries. But we're gonna let the listeners go and you know do what they have to do because we've held them captive way too long.
Very good. All right, folks. Well, thank you all for joining us today, and it was great to have you along with us. I'm Timothy Smith,
I'm Eugene Clark.
and we'll see you next time on
Thanks
Detroit
for
Radio.
joining us. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.